What's up guys, Spartan85. Welcome back to the channel, and version 2.3 of 7 Days to Die is now here on all platforms. And we're going to run through the patch notes real quick. This is a decent size update. 2.2 was a big one, but this is a decent size one too. And straight from the devs, they have made every attempt to prevent a new save game. Basically trying to prevent your old save game from, not working with this new update. And from everything I've tested, it looks like it works just fine too. So you shouldn't have to start a brand new game on this update. Now with 2.3, when you start a brand new game, storm frequency will be set to default 0. But if you return to your 2.2 save and play in 2.3, your storm setting is going to be set to whatever you had before. So if you want to set it to 0, you're going to have to go in and change it. But if you start a brand new game, the default setting for storms will be 0. Okay, and no longer do we have the smoothies. This is mainly for console people. I think PC people have been playing experimental for a little bit, but now we have the Black Lung Serum in the burnt biome. Then we have the Sunstroke Tonic for the desert. And then we have the Scorcher Stew for the snow biome. Last but not least is the Fallout Flush for the wasteland. And then the challenges have all been updated now to include these. So you have to use the Black Lung Serum, you have to use the Sunstroke Tonic, you have to use the Scorcher Stew, and then the Fallout Flush to complete all your biome challenges, if you choose to play with biome progression on, that is. And now these will all replace the actual smoothies. So now we have new, smoothies like stews, Fallout Flush, and all that stuff. Now we have new biome badges as well. So if we go over here, we're going to have the smoke gear, we're going to have the desert gear, we're going to have the snow gear, and then we're going to have the radiation gear. And you have to craft each one of these for your biome badge. And there's all the items you have to gather to craft it. So like just the burnt biome, you're going to take an armor crafting kit, scrap polymers, cloth fragments, leather, coal, and then next one, like the desert, is going to take armor, crafting kit, scrap polymers, cloth, leather, gather lens. So here is the lens here. You need it for the desert gear and then the scope. And then snow is the same thing, except you're going to need cotton at the very end. And then the wasteland radiation gear, same thing. And you're going to need forged steel, 10 pieces of forged steel to craft that. They also added honk event for vehicles to allow game events to fire based on honking the horn. And I believe what this is for modders or something later on in the game, where when you honk the horn on like the 4x4 or the motorcycle or the mini bike, it can open the trader's doors. And we had a mod, I think Jawoodle actually made the mod, and a couple other people made the mod too, that when you honk the horn, it'll open the trader's door. So I'm guessing that's added back in for the modders to be able to mod that in, or like I said, added maybe for a future update for the game. All right, I really like this one. A second column of map icons was added. So if you go to your map and then go to save waypoint, we have a whole new column of waypoints. So you can mark, treasured maps here. There's money, there's books, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a check mark. I really like these. Adds a little more variety to the maps for us a little bit. And then there's several other things added from modders in here. I'll just go ahead and show the actual additions in the patch notes real quick so you can see it. Okay, on to the changes. So the first one, they've disabled the biome, wear, loot, and time challenges. No longer do you have to loot items in the biomes, or you have to stay in the biome for 10 or 15 minutes. Those are gone. I mean, I really like the time being gone. I thought that was kind of tedious sometimes, but they got rid of that, so no longer have to loot or stay in the biome for a certain amount of time. Taking shelter without survival gear will recover biome hazard effects. All biome hazards now have 3 minutes of survival time without gear. They've done a lot of updates to tree stumps. Just right off the bat, tree stumps now can roll once for honey, then again for bees. Bees always come with honey, but not all honey comes with bees. So basically, anytime you get bees, you will get honey, but you won't always get bees with honey, if that makes any sense at all, and it's a separate roll. They've also added a brand new tree stump, and I believe this goes along with the other tree stumps, but it's got a hole in the top, as you can see here, which is kind of interesting. So they've added an extra tree stump. They've also reworked buff weights for a lower chance of infection from plague spitters, insect swarms, which is awesome. That's basically how I get infected the most, is from the plague spitters, insect swarm. They have reduced the dew collector activity value, basically making it not as hot as it used to be with the heat map, spawning in more screamers. So it should not spawn in more screamers now. The storm messages will no longer say to leave the biome. They've also increased the chances to find armor books once you put points into the armor perks. So you can do that early game if you want to find. I know a lot of complaints have been it's really hard to find armor books early game, or really any game. That's usually we max out everything else except for armor. But if you put points into armor perks, you should now find more armored up magazine. So now Agility Mastery level 3 now includes bows and crossbows as well as handguns to cause bleeding now. Now I'm gonna have to do some testing with this one, but I'm just gonna read this one. Increase the total number to spawn in the last group of all Blood Moon Horde game stages to 999 with no duration to allow spawns until morning. So I haven't done a horde in 2.3 yet, so I don't know if we're gonna have hordes all the way till 4 a.m. like we used to in 1.0, or is this meaning that the last spawn of the zombies will have a chance or can be level 999 in any horde? I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some testing on this one. Let me know if anybody's had a horde in 2.3 yet and what this means. All right, I'll show the rest of the changes real quick. There's a lot of different changes in there, a lot of small ones, like the can now should face you when you eat a can of food, stuff like that. Just small groups. Also some changes to the AI pathing and just how zombies react to us. The little subtle changes that we should see in 2.3 now on consoles and PC. A couple of the fixes, a couple of the highlights: Frostclaw, Plague Spitters, Spiders, cops mutated and demos now eat animal corpses. I guess they didn't before. Water is not visible through glass. That's a fix. I know there's been some complaints about how the game looks through glass, especially on consoles. And then, of course, there's a whole bunch of different little changes in the fixes. I'm just going to go ahead and show it on the screen real quick so you guys can see it. Look through them. If you guys experienced any of these, I guess, quote-unquote bugs that are fixed, let me know in the comments. Love to hear what you guys think of this update. And what are your thoughts on the update? Let me know down in the comments. Love to hear what you guys think. We're still, going towards a lot of those fixes that they talked about in the town hall. Storms are a little less active. They changed the biome badges. They've changed the smoothies. How do you guys feel about this update? Still progress in the right direction in your eyes? Do we need more? Do you want to see more work on bandits? Stuff like that. Or do you want to see glass jars brought in, which they have talked about? Joel's actually said on one of my videos, he commented on one of my videos that he actually has glass jars working again and he's looking to implement it soon. So then last but not least, I wanted to cover is they have announced that they're going to be adding, and I hope I'm going to say this right, apiary station, basically a honey harvesting station where kind of like the dew collector, you're just going to place it down and it's going to harvest honey. And it looks like there's several different mods we can put in, like the bee smoker, the hive frame, and then the honey extractor, it looks like it. So it looks like maybe you can harvest honey faster. I love this. I love being able to harvest honey. I'd love to see them add this, maybe the chicken coop too, so we can harvest eggs and feathers in the background instead of having to go find them. But I love this, especially with infections, being a big thing in the game. Now that we can harvest honey and we can use honey for maybe recipes when cooking. I love it. Let me know what you guys think about the honey harvester. All right, guys, that's all I got. Really appreciate all you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.